Hello, this is Dana and welcome to the Orchid Hut. We are outside today before the intensity of the heat gets too severe. You'll hear some outdoor noises. There are some crows cawing. The neighbor is mowing his lawn, and just a little while ago there was a plane overhead, so some of those noises may be returning throughout the duration of this video. The last, month, 6 weeks, we have had really intense heat here in southeast Texas. For the most part, we've been under what they're calling a high pressure ridge, and we're not getting any measurable moisture in off the Gulf. It is dry. And I'm going to turn the camera off of the orchids for just a brief second to show you one of the other things we're having to do because it's so dry. And we have a sprinkler system in the backyard, and this is a place where it's very much in the shade all the time, so the grass doesn't really grow. But what begins to happen, even though we have a sprinkler system, is that the soil becomes so dry it starts to pull away from the foundation of the house, and that's a really bad thing for your foundation. It can actually cause the foundation of your house to fail because there's no soil to support it. So what we have to do is we have to put a soaker hose along the foundation and run it from time to time to put some moisture down inside. Let me see if I can get just a little bit closer here, and I'll show you what happens if I can pull this away. So you can see that right there starts to be a separation between the soil and the foundation. So the soaker hose adds some moisture there and keeps us hopefully from having a problem. And it goes all the way around the corner of the house and down the side of the house, because I think too, because the grass doesn't grow there as well, it also tends to dry out a bit more. So always something. Okay, so back to the orchids. I thought what we would do today is kind of walk through the ones that are actually tolerating all of this super heat. It has been most days over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Today it's expected to be up to 105 with a heat index of 112 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's kind of walk through the orchids that are doing well. And before we look at these, I will tell you that I have had to bring in my mounted Phalaenopsis parishii. It was beginning to have a bit of stress. So that one was not able to tolerate the temperatures, even though it was pretty much in full shade. Okay, so the last of the morning sun, direct sun, is disappearing. The rest of the day, these will be in the shade. They get a couple of hours of direct sun first thing in the morning before it gets too super hot. Alright, and watering schedule right now is about once a week, except for the vandas, the tolumnias, and the mounted orchids. That's pretty much an everyday watering task right now. Okay, so Brassolalia yellowbird is hanging in there. Not really suffering from any of the heat stress, although, again, just a couple of hours of early morning sun and then the rest of the day just in shade. And then this is Epolalia cattleya, Jackie Bright Helostars. That one is doing fine. Most of the cattleyas are also doing okay, the ones with the thicker, hardier leaves, although I wouldn't say necessarily that all cattleyas would enjoy these temperatures. I think there may be a few that are maybe a little bit closer to intermediate type growers, and I don't think those would tolerate what's going on outdoors right now in my area. And then the same is true of this Cymbidium. Now, I wouldn't just say go out and buy a whole lot of Cymbidiums for temperatures that are really hot, but this one seems to be tolerating it. It is Cymbidium Golden Elf Sundust. and it's hanging in there, although I wouldn't expect that of most Cymbidiums. And then all of the Brassavola type orchids doing perfectly okay. This one is a little stars variety, doing okay. The hardier Phalaenopsis type dendrobiums are still doing fine. Of course, the Tolumnias are doing fine. Another Cattleya here that's doing okay. A couple of Tolumnias, one in this piece of Koya wood, and then another on a mount. As long as I, give those a drink of water every day, they're doing just fine. Another Cattleya that's tolerating the heat. Some smaller Cattleya type orchids, some more Tolumnias. This one is, what is this one? Serena O'Neill. Oh yeah, this is the orchid. I'm not exactly sure this one has been tagged correctly. I'm not sure that this tag is right. And until it blooms, I may not know for sure. But in any case, I think the orchids with the thicker, strappy leaves tend to tolerate the heat a bit better. Another Cattleya doing fine. Another Phalaenopsis type dendrobium right there doing fine. The radiata doing fine. And then another really sturdy Cattleya type orchid right here doing just fine. Maxillaria tenafolia is doing okay. It actually has right down here and on some of the other pseudobulbs there are some roots coming out, and when I water this one I actually get the leaves and the bulbs a bit more wet because some of the newer root system are actually hidden inside those dry sheaths. Okay, and then of course Vanda's doing just fine, but watering has been, the frequency of water has definitely been increased. They do get a shower at least every day, and then I'm giving them a good bucket soak every other day, and I'm actually out here doing that today, so there's my bucket soak. And I usually leave them for about 15 minutes. Longer doesn't hurt. And then hang them back up. And here, this one is doing well. Brassavola nodosa. It has, let's see, some good new root growth attaching there to the clay part of the planter, and it has some new vegetative growth as well right there. So this one is enjoying the heat. And then over here, let me just show you this really quickly. Oh, the Grammatophyllum doing just fine. And the Bulbophyllums in the shade doing okay. Down here though, I'm kind of keeping an eye on this Dendrobium moschatum. It does have a keiki here at the top, and there seems to be the tiniest bit of sort of brown leaf tip burn for some reason, so I don't know if that's heat related or not. I'm not quite as familiar with this orchid yet to know what it does and does not like. And then of course the Vanda here, a lot of gold, doing just fine. Okay, and last but not least, Catasetum is doing fine, although I am watering it now twice a day. It is consuming that much water. Large white Burdekin Wonder Cattleya here doing fine, but is also needing a bit more water than what I was used to giving it last year. Growing up here on the wall are my two Dendrobiums, Anosmum and Little Sweet Scent. Those are also doing fine, but of course, they're not in any kind of direct sun at all, and needing just a little bit of more frequent watering because of the heat. Okay, so thanks so much for watching. Try to stay cool wherever you are. The subscribe button will be coming up in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. Thanks so much for watching, and talk to you next time.